Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Back here in version 1.010, we are coming back with more of the Mustang DLC. Payne Workshops put this out. We have currently 4 more cars to work with. Not sure what's going on. Maybe we'll see a patch here for the parking glitch. Payne seems to think that it's actually something to do with the game. Did get back to me and said, yeah, this looked like something that was in the actual game that was having an issue, not necessarily the mod. So, anyways, what do we got today? Well, we've got the 1970 Mustang Mach 1 Twister and 1969 Mustang inside. This is the stock Mustang Mach 1. And this over here, yeah, buddy, 1969 Shelby GT350. Yeah, that's a Shelby. Picked this up at an auction earlier. So, as of currently, take a look at the map. We don't have any barn locations, so I'm going to have to hunt some more barns down. But, we got some more cars to do. Thinking we're going to go ahead and do special editions. I'm going to do the 69 and 70 Machs together. So, is this one? Yeah. So we'll do these two side by side together. These are 1 year apart, same model car. So we'll do these separate. For now, we will do a 69 and a 70, but we're going to do the GT350 and the Twister edition, the Twister Special. I'm not really sure. I didn't do a lot of research on this car, but apparently this was a specific type. We do have to weld the Shelby. That's a given. We just got it. So we'll go ahead and weld the Shelby up real quick. 500 credits. That ain't bad. Get the frame condition back to 100%. But I hope everybody's doing well. We're back. We are going to go ahead and take care of doing some stuff. Getting things done. So let's get this Shelby torn down and go from there. I think I'm just going to do a rebuild on the engine that's in it. It seems like it's going to be the best case scenario. It's kind of nice that the Cobra emblems and stuff are actually built into the fenders. So let's these windows off. This body stripped down, make it look nice and pretty. I do not see an engine part, but we'll get there. So, hope everybody had a great weekend. Ended up having a birthday party, got a couple of really good cigars, spent some time with some friends, you know, whatnot. Did some side work, did a little electrical. I got a bad circuit somewhere in a swimming pool I got to chase down. So sometime this week, probably, or this weekend, I'm going to pull the lights out of the pool and see if I just have a bad gasket or something in the lights. More than likely, that's what it is. It's been a while since they were replaced, so we'll go ahead and take care of that. But that's pretty much what I've been up to all weekend. A bit sore today. Not sure what's going on. I don't know if just the weird position I had to be in to work on that electrical over the weekend was what did me in, or if it was walking, you know, too much or whatever. I honestly don't know. But yeah, definitely one of those things. We kind of just have a definite little like sore leg type thing going on. Not sure what's going on with that, so. Oh, at least car part 4 is good. Alright, didn't have any of those. Oop. My finger's too high there. Really? Okay. So I managed to salvage a couple of the parts. So, suppose we should finish up this body. Use with front ends Q through S and headlights P through T only. It's S. I did not see that clamshell. I see rear. I guess it's right here in front of me. All right, front clamshell left. Shelby. At least they're marked. They are marked. That in there. All right. Save the front. I did save the front end, which is good. Save the headlights. All right. Not sure what front bumper that is. Let's look at the shopping list. All right. Wow, it's looking like a Shelby already. Look at that. Okie dokie. None of this looks like it's particularly special stuff, so... Car part 3. So here's the red interior doors. So I'm not sure which one of them it is, though. I think it's this one. Glass is going to be glass. There's not anything special about glass. Probably just stock left side mirrors. I don't think they're anything special. I don't know which ones it is. I'll have to look. I don't see a Shelby specific window, so this is used with car part 4 E and F chrome. That's the rear deck lid we were looking at real quick here. God, I don't know which one it is. I'm gonna assume it's this one. Yep. Just shopping lists of stuff. Don't use it that often, but sometimes. There's a lot of variants and parts like there is with this car. I'll use a shopping list on it. Alrighty. Wrong hood. We need F. Yeah, I guess it's right. I don't see carport 1. The other part of carport 1 that goes on the hood. I guess that's correct. I don't remember when we took it apart. I'll have to go back and look. But yeah, I guess that's right. I think because car part 1 was actually missing is why it looks weird. Huh. Well, that's interesting. There's an issue here. ACD on the clamshell covers. Car part 2 should be the, yeah, the top. I don't know, maybe I just didn't have it. Or there's a weird hitbox on this car. Yeah, see that? There's a weird hitbox on it. There we go. Now the hood pins are in the car. Oh. Yeah, you have to be underneath it. That's the C button is crouch. That's what's going on with that. So, I mean, she's back together. Claims 428 Cobra Jet, so we shall see. Get this one taken apart. So the idea here is to have all the body panels done before we have the do the engines and stuff, because they're going to be pretty copy-paste. The bodies on these cars are what is truly unique. The rest of the parts are pretty copy-paste, so. We'll do the unique parts first. Now we also don't forget to do a body panel. You know, we left a bunch from the I don't know why I have that spare hood. That's the hood I want. The green one. Grab some glass. Alright, so cosmetically, these cars are basically done. At least visually. This got to come off because I need to repair it real quick. I almost forgot it. And I think I got to do... Ooh, run around in circles. An engine cover on this as well. But for right now, we're going to leave those out. I did buy this one at an auction. So what you're seeing right here is pretty much auction quality. And as you can tell, it's missed a few wheels. Anyways. Ooh, it's got already got some nice Krager style wheels on it. That was what I was going to put on it anyway, so there you go. And we're definitely going to need to go buy, you know, a boatload of rubber bushings and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's all stuff we're going to have to get to eventually. This one actually looks like it's missing a lot of the rubber bushings, so there you go. I'm pretty sure this is the drummer end. I don't know. Might not be. I don't know. No, it is. No disc brake rear conversion on the Shelby either. Seems like a tragedy to me. Pretty much just handle this one side at a time, and then we'll go from there. Get these ripped apart fairly quickly, and then we'll see where we're at. Obviously, we're going to be changing certain parts like ventilated discs. Yeah, we're never putting stock disc brakes on a car again. That's not happening. Cross-drilled and slotted rotors are the way to go. They dissipate heat faster, that's why. So when you're on your brakes really hard, they get less heat to hold up. Now, I have no idea what fluids we're going to have to deal with. So just for giggles, make sure there's no oil in this because we'll forget. Now it's possible, and look at it, 290 horsepower. I mean, yeah, it could be a 428. Who knows? We got the belly ripped out of the beast. Now we can get up here and take out the stuff up top. The old drain tool out and drain all this stuff out. Bunch of reservoirs and stuff, which we already bought because we kind of prepped for that. No, we can't fix them, so. Got the intercooler. Well, transcooler, but yeah, same thing. Basically, they put a small intercooler in for the transmission and cooling systems. That's how little I want to mess with that part. I bought 6 of them, and I just replace them as I go. Alright. Battery out of here. Pull that out. Alrighty. Get some engines ripped down. All the parts fixed and go from there. We'll need rockers and rods. We got 2 engines, so we'll need 16 times 2? Huh. 32 of them? I think that's right. And yeah, because I was getting the cases from the barns when I was hunting for cars, that's why I have my experience up so high. Honestly, depending on how things all shake out with hunting down the last of these 19 freaking cars and what we get with barns and cases and everything else, there's a good possibility we're going to end up hitting that 50 mark. And yeah, if we hit that, that's going to be interesting. No, you don't have to take the fan off to change belts most of the time. Sometimes you do, but sometimes you can get away with slipping it out from underneath there. The center belt right there, the one goes around the water pump pulley, you do have to take the fan out for the alternator, but sometimes you can get away with not doing it too. I've actually done it both ways. There is a way to manipulate it to get the belt where it'll stretch around the fan. And if it's an old belt, it really doesn't matter anyways. And the new belt slides right over, so. If you're doing car repairs, you got to change an alternator belt on a V8 like this. You know, don't think you have to take the entire fan off just to get to it. You can get around it. Alrighty. Almost there. We'll get this block torn down the rest of the way and we'll be good to go. No idea how many parts we're going to have to buy on this engine, though. It did come from a junk auction, but still came from a junk auction, so some of this stuff could be unrepairable. I already see all the rust we're dealing with. Oh. Forgot to take the head off on that side. Oops. That was my bad. Looks pretty good. It's got to not mess up. On the other side of the fence, barn hopping like we were, getting cases, we did get quite a huge chunk of scrap parts. So we might actually be able to get some more work done on that Ferrari that's sitting in the garage waiting for 3-star parts. I don't know exactly how many I needed to finish it, but I mean, we're up to 9,000 again, so we'll see. Really wish we got experience for repairing parts. If we got experience for repairing parts, I probably would have already had level 50. Considering how much we actually spend on them and how many parts we actually just toss in the trash because, you know, reasons. Like those engine heads, we're probably never going to use stock engine heads. We've reached that point where unless it's like, you know, I go back and do the missions where I have to change out heads or something, probably never going to use those. Almost done with this one, and then we can start on the next one. Alright. Get our engine back together here. Alrighty. Cam gears we did grab. I think we grabbed a bunch of timing chains too. Nope. Alright, so. Just gonna grab 32 right now on some of this stuff because it's easier. I hate the fact you have to click this button. I wish you could just type it in, but whatever. Sure, 12 will be enough. It's a start. Grabbed a bunch of crankshaft pulleys. Water pumps we can repair. Water pump pulleys, serpentine belts, those are things. Use a ton of water pump pulleys. We'll just grab a bunch. Need to be fine. Okay. Yeah. Need a boatload of oil filters too. Oh no. We're out of pistons. Oh no. Alright, we'll get new one. We'll get some more here in a second. You need at least 6. More than likely, more than that. Enough for 3 engines. Wow, we're out of clutch plates. And pressure plates. I need to buy more. Alright. Was it necessary? No. We do it anyways? Yes. You know, it's stocked up enough for one freaking engine. Oh no. What was I thinking? I didn't grab any spark plugs. Okay. I'm not going to bug you guys with the clicking. We're just going to hold the button down until it's a reasonable number. Apparently I can only buy 50 at a time, so I guess 50 is the reasonable number. I don't know how many of these I have. I'm just going to grab a few. And same thing with these plug wires. I'm not sure how many we have, so let's go ahead and grab a few. Seems excessive, I know, but I'd rather have too many performance parts than not enough. Especially when we sell off all those stock parts. Alright. Alright. Down to the bottom. Zippity zip zip zip. Uh-oh. Yes, I just bought 18 freaking performance carburetors. A reason for that. Some of these cars are going to end up twin carb freaking engines in them. Like the 69 Mach 1. It's going to end up with a twin carb. Alright. Whoop. That off there. We'll go shove it back in a car. Like I said, the reflective surfaces in this thing always boggle my mind. Like the intercooler is currently showing a reflection of the windshield washer bottle. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me because that's not how light works, but cool nonetheless. Hang on a second. It's gonna drive me nuts. There we go. Of course I don't have any brake pads. Why'd I have brake pads? Brake pads make sense. Ah. See? Told you you're going to need rubber bushings. So many rubber bushings. Just grab 50 of each. Be done with it. Wait, it'll take a while to wear through them. Alright, when are you getting like these? We're getting quite a bit of these too. If I do 10 and 10, that'll give me enough for 5 cars. So, we'll do that. Run through about 12, between 10 to 12 freaking rubber bushings a car, so 50 goes by a lot faster than you think it does. I don't have any inner or outer tie rods. Go with that. That's not going to happen anymore. At least not for a while. Yeah, if it says we don't have the part, we're buying 50. It's just the way it is. And we'll buy 50 of each because we always use them in pairs anyways. So if we don't have any inner tie rods, we don't have any outer tie rods. Kind of how that goes. We need an upper suspension arm here. Pretty sure we were missing one. We don't need quite as many of those because we usually have them. It's rare that they're missing. It's just kind of a cushion. Alrighty, let's go put together some shocks. Need to do at least 4 because we're doing 2 cars today. However, we do have 2 cars outside, so if we decide to run a little longer, we start getting some chat comments in there, you know, saying, hey, we want to see another car. Well, we'll be prepared. I don't mind running the stream a little longer, but, you know, I need you guys' input to let me know if you want to actually see that happen. Alright. We got a few now. Florence exhaust in here. I don't know. It is a Shelby. I think we're going to go performance on the tranny. Because it's a Shelby. Just grab 5 of those. We'll make a decision as we go. We're either all going to put performance transmissions in, or we're going to put, you know, we're going to jump back and forth depending on the car. Like the 2 that we have in here right now, the Shelby and the Twister, yeah, they need performance transmissions. Just kind of the way that goes. Oh, almost forgot the fuel tank. I don't remember. I thought we bought these in bulk. We did buy a couple. Okay. We didn't buy a lot, but we did buy a couple of them. Might need some brake shoes too. I think the other side was missing shoes. It was. Right. Brake drums. Another headache. While we're here, let's grab a few shoes just in case we can't fix a pair. And why not a few cylinders as well. Good enough. Now we are going to need to go get wheels for this. Because this car was missing 2 wheels. But they're the Krager style ones. They're not the, you know, standard Mustang wheels like the ones over there. The basic ones. Alrighty, we are down to tires. About far off the ground. 225, 70, 15, rim 11. Gotta go to the repair table. Don't forget to repair the wheels. Only bought 2 after all. We gotta repair the other 2. Oh boy, another worthless fuel pump. Yay! I'm a firm believer that stock fuel pumps suck. I think we'll do a monster real quick. I got some Sunny D down here too, trying to, get a leg up on cold and flu season coming up. But yeah, some B vitamins to the monster are gonna hurt you. Alright. I set that kind of in a teetery place and almost dropped it, so I better put it back up on a table that's actually a little more secure. Now I got a sticky hand. I wish we didn't have drums on the rear. This thing would look really great with freaking 4-wheel drilled and slotted rotors. But I digress. Not something we can fix. Can't really change rear ends without changing configuration files, and the game doesn't like when you mess around with configuration files, so not gonna be doing that. Alright. Go over to the test path and get her straightened out. Make it purty. Disassemble. So we're using a lot of the roulette stuff. So I think I'm just going to grab like 10. It's good for like 5 cars. Now you don't have to keep running back and forth to the interior shop. It's all pretty self-explanatory what's going in the car. These are pretty well period accurate too. This is the type of seat you would have seen. And the type of steering wheel. Do love that red interior though. Damn. Not so sure about the black seats, but the red interior? Yeah, I'm okay with that. Alright, let's go paint it. The factory color is this blue, which is fine. But I want to see with the GT350 badging on it. We change the color. The black and blue. The white looks pretty good. GT500 badging. I think there's a race car livery in here I wanted to look at. The Ford Motor Company one. That's the Twister Special one. I think that's the other Twister Special one, so... Yeah, so we had this, which was the SCCA, like, track car. But this has got the Boss 302 in it, which, that's the problem. And that's the other Twister Special RTR livery. So yeah, it looks like somewhere in the teens, I think, is where the Shelby logos were. Yeah, there we go. 500s. You know what? I'm okay with that. I'm not sure I like the blue with the red. Red on red would be interesting. A little more saturation, maybe? I don't know. Almost want to get it to that point where the car color inside matches the outside. Yeah, there we go. Nice red GT350. I like it. If you like the way I paint them, you hate the way I paint them, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Because I'm going to go off what I like until I get told otherwise. Yeah, I think that worked out nicely. It's not quite perfect with the interior, but it was never going to be. Even the original ones weren't perfect. There was always a slight difference in the interior color, but that's pretty close. Thinking around 400 horsepower. 430. Wow, 526. Definite big jump. Well, I say we give it a 5th gear and we make it an infinity gear. Know what I mean? Because I don't know what it's actually going to do on the track if we give it an infinity gear. Oof. Now, see, this is true Shelby Cobra stuff, though. You know, wood grain interior. You got the snakes on the freaking side door panels. I mean, this is the Shelby interior, which is nice. A lot more information in the Shelby than you would have had in a stock Mustang, just because Carroll built them that way. They were built as track cars, so they had stuff like oil pressure and voltage. See down there by the shifter. A lot of stuff, you know, modern conveniences were stripped out, but the important stuff was there. So, gonna take this over to the speed track. Like I said, I have no idea what an infinity gear is gonna do, but we'll throw it in just to see. Okay. Let's get a look at this bird when it's sitting out there in the sun. You know, not too bad, actually. I kind of like it. Now, this car would have had the sequential turn signals. So they would have gone from the in, basically from the in to the out, and they would have clocked across those taillights. That's what's different about the Shelbys from the actual regular Mustangs, sequential turn signals. Now, a lot of the new ones actually have that. Alright, so an infinity gear doesn't work. Which means we're going to have to tune that gear out. Spent a little more time on this car than we normally would, but I wanted to test a theory, and yeah, for whatever reason, the transmission just disengages in 5th gear. They're going to have to give 5th gear something. Now, 354 miles an hour? Let's do 5.0, because the 9.7, that's 300 miles an hour. I doubt the car will go that fast, but, you know, we'll set it for 300. Back to test track and see how this actually solves that problem. Otherwise, just put infinity gear in 1st gear, right? Be perfect. Definitely a little smoother on the shift points, though. There we go. It just took a second, so it's still off, but not as bad as it was. Oh no, we broke it. Oh. Yeah, so it's not as bad as it was. It does need to be a little tighter to get it totally working properly, but 200 miles an hour in a GT350 Shelby Cobra, it's pretty much a track car at that point, which is what it was meant to be. Shelby built a lot of these cars for certain divisions of Le Mans and like true track racing, so that's probably where it needs to be. But anyways, take a good look at her. I'm actually going to take a picture of her because if that glitch is still in the matrix with the cars not, you know, doing their thing, then we need to make sure we get a good couple of pictures here. Shows we actually did it and we built it. We'll send it off to parking purgatory and hope we can get it back someday. Like I said, I'm not sure what's going on with that. It was weird. It might have been a glitch that's already been fixed, but anyways, we got this one we got to work on, and while we're at it, let's go ahead and bring in... This one's not washed. This one is. We'll take this one to car lifter. We're actually going to move this to B because we're going to work off of A. So this is going to be our next one on the stream. So if we do it today or we do it next week, that's going to be our next one. Or not next week, tomorrow. Yeah, you guys know what I mean. Not taking a whole week off. That's insane. Some reason YouTube, when they're counting my watch hours and stuff for you guys watching, has decided that even though I did no streaming whatsoever, you know, before April, that I need to have watch hours for, you know, my calculations deducted daily, even though there's literally no watch hours that need to be deducted because, like I said, I haven't streamed. I started streaming and actually brought my channel back up online in October, or in April of the 2021. So nothing in 2020 happened. And YouTube's decided that, you know, oh, well, we're going to remove hours or, you know, the day in April when you had 0. So, I don't know. It's weird. It's kind of upsetting. It's kind of irritating, to be honest with you, because, like, YouTube already has enough people that are mad at them. Poor small streamers like me and a lot of other people, you know, can't compete with big guys. So every time YouTube kicks us in the teeth, takes away our watch hours or whatnot, it makes it just harder and harder. But, whatever. I'm not worried too much about it. It's not like I'm worried too much about building my channel up for the sake of getting paid from YouTube. Honestly, I'd rather not be involved with the drama if I can avoid it. But, you know, if one day I get monetized, I'll gladly get monetized. But really, I want to build my channel up for you guys so that you guys can all experience, you know, stuff like this. You know, 20 car DLC mod, basically, that drops for Car Mechanic Simulator. And really, not a lot of YouTubers are talking about it. So unless you're constantly looking for mods on the Steam Workshop, probably gonna miss this one, and that'd be a tragedy. But this is actually a really good mod. Now, that being said, like I said before, I'm not. If I get sponsorships, that'd be awesome. I don't know how that would work since I do live streams, but you never know. I could get, you know, somebody throw me a game key and a couple of bucks to play a certain game. I don't know. I don't know how all that stuff works. I'm not an expert. Sure, people smarter than me have figured that stuff out, but yeah, it really does make it difficult when you do look at your monetization calculations, knowing that you started your channel in April of this year, and, you know, you're getting, 100 watch hours fell off from this time last October, and you're like, last October I wasn't doing anything. So I would have had 0 watch hours anyway, so how can I lose, you know, X number of hours for, you know, 0? I had 0 and I somehow lost, you know, a positive 100. Doesn't make a lot of sense. But I digress. I swear. Probably should have started doing YouTube back when I actually worked a full-time job out in the field and everything. I just didn't have the time. I do have some older videos from a few years ago when I tried it, but yeah, I probably should have got on the YouTube train 10 years ago. Probably be a lot bigger channel. But back then I didn't have, you know, I wasn't into the freaking whole scene. I wasn't spending thousands of dollars on hardware to be able to do these kinds of streams, you know? Didn't have $20,000 computers and stuff like that to, you know, keep up with the big boys like PewDiePie and T-Series and all those guys. I didn't have that kind of freaking capital to, you know, put that in. And I am almost positive every one of those guys when they first started out in the heyday was probably doing, you know, this or that shady thing, like going and buying a bunch of subscribers up or whatnot to get the algorithms to work for them. I have no doubt they were. You know, they were probably paying people directly at YouTube to promote their channels. They knew Billy Bob over there in IT that was like, oh, well, if you can manipulate this for me, I'll give you this. And yeah, that's how business gets done, unfortunately, guys. If you actually think the business doesn't get done off bribery and, you know, greasing the right palms, you're living in a box. I hate to say it. That's how things happen. And it's not really that direct where, you know, you go out and you give somebody a few, you know, $10,000 or whatever, and then they make you a freaking superstar. No. It's subtle. It's, oh, well, you took me out to dinner at, you know, Chez Le Monde, and Chez Le Monde's average plate is $500 a plate. You paid for my dinner, you know. That's how they do it. That's how most CEOs do it. I would shy away to say that even Bezos and Gates and Zuckerberg and all those guys are exactly the same way. They schmooze and wine and dine. You want to know how American politics works? I just explained it to you. Lobbying and buying people dinners and stuff like that has been the way things have worked for so long. And it's tragic. It is. It's sad. But you can't get away from it. All you can do is basically grit your teeth and struggle through. Hope that somewhere along the lines you get something that nobody else can freaking match. It literally took 10 seconds. That's funny. Alright. Don't know why I laid the brakes, but we're going to lay the brakes. I'm going to sell them all off here shortly. Same thing with any of the other 100% parts that I have that don't make any sense. We're not using them. Yeah, I know we should have taken the engine apart before we did this, but I kind of want these parts out of the way so we can just rip the engine down and put it back together as quickly as possible. And this seems to be slightly faster if we do the body parts first. I mean, it may not be. I don't know. It makes me feel better to know all this stuff's done before we get to the next thing. I guess that's all that matters, right? Alright, let's get this engine apart, see how freaking horrifying it is inside. So I've been hearing a lot of people on the forums and stuff begging Playway to make this a multiplayer game. I don't know how that would work. I mean, realistically, I know it sounds like a good idea, you know, oh, well, I could have one guy doing this and one guy doing that, and certainly we have enough, you know, parts tables to do various things, but, you know, there's only one engine stand. There's only one brake tool. Yeah, I guess, you know, there's only one battery charger, one spring compressor, one tire balancer set, you know. There's only one of a lot of items, and I think that right there is something that would mess up multiplayer. I guess you could have people tasked with doing certain things, like, you know, you could have a body guy, and that's all he does is body work, but I don't know. I don't know how that would all work out. It sounds like a good idea in theory, but I think in practice they'd find that it was actually a hindrance more than a help. Because, I mean, we're already done with the body of the Mustang. We don't need a body guy. Yeah, it took us a little bit of time to do it, but not that much. It only took us like 10 minutes to do the entire body on that car. So, that wouldn't be helpful. You know, okay, I'm tearing down the engine, go put the suspension back on the car so I can, you know, do the engine. Yeah, that'd be great. You know, for a streamer standpoint, like, you know, myself, that would be fantastic to be able to have somebody over there putting the body panels back together, but then you'd have to have a shared inventory, you know, and how that would work with that kind of coding would be kind of weird. Because I'm sure there's a lot of complex coding to have a shared inventory. Or you'd have to go and, you know, waste 30 minutes jumping everything that you just repaired into the warehouse so that the other guy could go pull it out of the warehouse. But it'd be a whole back and forth thing. It would be a very big endeavor. I think in practice it would be actually more of a pain than just leaving the game single player. But then again, if they made it multiplayer and somebody wanted to play multiplayer with me and do a job and build a car, I don't think it would be beyond me, at least, to be able to say, yeah, sure, why not? But yeah, I think in practice, multiplayer in this game would be kind of a headache. And it would probably wear off in its novelty very quickly. And I think that's why, you know, coding that kind of complex algorithm would be difficult. I could be wrong, but like I said, I got multiplayer games like Destiny that, you know, I beg people to play Destiny with me. And they're like, oh, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. It's like, really? So if you got games like, you know, for FPSs like Destiny and Call of Duty where you can't get your friends to play Destiny or Call of Duty with you, why do you think they're going to come in and work in your mechanic shop and rebuild cars for you, basically? Because at some point in time, somebody's going to be standing around. You know, these engines take a while to tear down, so it's not like they could come over here and help tear the engine down. And the coding it would be thought processed into that freaking whole debacle would be interesting in its own right. If you could have two people, you know, tearing an engine down, yeah, it would be fast, but then again, it would definitely be a pain in the neck. I know a lot of professional engine builders are not of the mind of having more than one person touching a freaking engine at a time just because I know where everything goes, leave me alone type mentality. You know, don't touch that because it doesn't go in yet type thing. And yeah, it would be convenient, you know, to be able to go in and, hey, I put the pistons in. As soon as the pistons are clear on this bottom rung, go ahead and throw the head in. Yeah. In theory, it sounds great. But in actual practice, you'd be like, did you grab a 96% push rod? Or, you know, what exactly happened here? Because the engine's not 100% because it wasn't this one person's eyes looking at it. It was two. So, just a thought. Anybody out there screaming they want multiplayer in Car Mechanic Simulator? And do you really? Have you thought it through? It's a lot of things in life. You just gotta sit back and take and process it, you know. Yeah, this idea sounds good, but is it really that great? Like, yeah, having all the engine parts already repaired because they were going into the shared inventory and somebody was repairing them as you were tearing them down, and then you could put them back together. Awesome. Except for if they bugger up something. You know. Let's say they get all the way down to the end and you're sitting there and you're like, well, I need the block first. And they're like, well, the block's last. And they're still over here repairing, you know, engine heads. And they go over to the block to try and rush it out to you to put it together, and they end up breaking it, and now you got to buy a block. Yeah. It's one of those things. But same thing goes in video games. It goes in life. Sit back and actually take a look at what you're asking for before you ask for it. See if it actually works logically, you know? I mean, hell, I got solar-powered freaking patio covers in my backyard. A little electronic solar panel and battery that goes up and down, and you push a button to make the patio cover open and close. Great idea. Installed a brand new solar panel on it. Guess what? Installed a brand new battery. It's been 6 months, and either the battery or the solar panel shot because the battery isn't getting charged. So, was solar really a great idea, or was hardlining that to the electrical circuit a better idea? Yeah, you don't use it that often. Maybe just putting it on a hard line and not having a battery pack and a solar panel would have been smarter. Because then you could actually use it. And the thing doesn't get used that often either. Only gets used every once in a while because I live in a place where we get perpetual sunlight and the sun is ridiculous. You know, it's 180 degrees outside sometimes. It's not that bad, but you know, I'm close enough to Death Valley where they set world records for how hot it is that, yeah, it's one of those things you want to not be outside during the day most of the time. But I digress, you know. In theory, a solar freaking controlled shade was a great idea. In theory, you know, having a battery backup on it was a great idea. Then you actually look at the logistics and go, wait a minute. It's 100 and stupid outside. It's October, and it's 100 and stupid outside. So the battery is not going to do well in the heat. Solar panel's probably not going to last very long in high temperatures like that, especially perpetually for the entire year. But a $5 chunk of wire and hooking it to your regular electrical grid probably would have lasted a long time. Probably would have lasted years. So, you know, it's like I said, just some things are great in theory. They're not that great when they're practically applied. And by the way, I'm not, you know, against, you know, being more environmentally conscious or whatever, but yeah. Just remember, your electric car batteries are only good for like 10 years, and they use chemicals and materials that only come from mines, you know, overseas, and are highly volatile and dangerous and explosive and everything else. Not to mention the fact, you ever have a laptop? Any of you out there with a laptop, make a comment on this. How often does it take before the lithium-ion battery, which is the same type of battery that's in your electric car, end up being a charger baby where your laptop is now a desktop that's just plugged in all the time? Yeah. Leave a comment on that one. Tell me how fast that happens. Then apply it to that electric car that you think so awesome. Nothing against Elon Musk or Tesla, but yeah. If you're going to use something equivalent to a slightly enlarged laptop battery, how fast does it take before the laptop becomes a charger baby? And then apply that to a car. Oh, how long before the car becomes a charger baby? You can only go 20, 30 miles before the batteries are dead because the batteries are no good anymore. Now, a lot of laptops claim that they have a 10 or 12 year battery too. What is it, 6 to 8 months? I think my last laptop was about a year. And I, you know, did everything right, did proper charging techniques, the whole 9 yards, let it drain itself all the way down, let it reset, let it come back up, gave it full charges before pulling it back off. The charger, you know, I did all the fancy things. Everything they recommend you do. Guess what? Still made it a year. I got a bunch of lithium-ion flashlight batteries, too. You know, those fancy, like, Nebo lights. I love Nebo lights, don't get me wrong. Rechargeable, great freaking lights. But problem is, so now, the battery for that flashlight to replace it that was once $2, you know, $1.50 for a battery for that flashlight because it can be applied to a different application is now, you know, $8 to $10 for that same battery because, you know, oh, well, people were using it in their electronic cigarettes and now we're going to tax the hell out of it as a tobacco item even though it's a flashlight battery. Not even the same size as what you would use in an electronic cigarette. But, you know, it was a great idea in theory. Hey, we'll tax the equipment, you know, we'll treat it as a tobacco product even though it has nothing to do with tobacco. In theory, it was a great idea. You know, make a little more money, you know, scam more taxes out of people who are just trying to get paycheck to paycheck. But it's not going to be a deterrent. Yeah, I think the great Dennis Leary once said it. Said you could, you know, Dennis Leary was a smoker, and he's like, I love to smoke. You can make the cigarettes $20 a pack. I'll break into your house to get the cigarettes. I don't care. It's a thing. I'm addicted. Get over it. But, you know, you got the point. People will do what they want. You know, we're only here for a short time. Immortality is not a thing yet. So, you know, we're only here. Live your life how you want to live your life. That goes for everything. But because you want to live your life a certain way, don't make other people's lives hell because of it. I know a lot of people miss that one. You know, they go in and they go, oh, well, I want to live a perfectly healthy lifestyle devoid of any toxins or yada, yada, yada. Yeah, guess what? I got a quick piece of bad news for you. Used to work in a nuclear facility. Okay? Nuclear power, honestly, if you take care of the reactors and the plants, pretty safe. Damn efficient. The overall amount of actual waste in a nuclear power plant compared to what you think nuclear waste is trivial at best. Most of the times when I was handling stuff that was having to go out to be stored for nuclear disposal, it was, you know, PPE, clothing. Your various protective items. Or, you know, some tools that had gone bad or whatever. It didn't matter. The fuel rods themselves, yes, they're highly radioactive. Fine. But they don't get changed that often. You know, reactors can run for a year or two on, you know, next to nothing. Now, before you run out and say, oh, you're advocating for nuclear power, and I don't believe in that. Well, let me give you a couple of little things to break down here. Number one, first off, you will exceed the dosages that you would expect to see in a nuclear reactor walking through a field in the middle of the desert most of the time. Hell, walking down the street in the middle of Manhattan, you will probably pick up more radiation in a day than you would working inside a nuclear power plant. It's been proven. They have scientists for this. This is direct from the scientists. The amount of radiation that a person gets a year, if you measured it by food consumption or environmental, is actually more than what you get in the sterile environments in a power plant environment. Now, it's not to say you can't have an accident. Not saying that. Just saying that, you know, Billy Bob that works over there in the reactor and, you know, sits in an office in the reactor area and doesn't have any electronics around him and has a few pipes that have, you know, hot water in them running around his workstation, probably more likely not going to have as much radiation exposure inside his work as he does outside. Is it more than what he would get if he was just outside? Maybe. How much can you live through before it becomes a problem? Well, that's a different discussion. Everybody's different. Just like everybody has allergies. I mean, who remembers when you used to be able to get like a 2-pound bag of peanuts on an airplane as a, you know, thing? Oh, well, you know, hey, the flight attendant came by and she offered me a bag of peanuts, and then I was like, well, I haven't eaten for a while. Can I get like 2 or 3 bags of peanuts? And they're like, yeah, sure, well, no problem. All right, well, cool. Everybody remember that? Guess what? People are now allergic to peanuts. Guess what you can't get on an airplane anymore? Peanuts. Everybody has allergies. Now, is every single person allergic to peanuts? No. Is there certain groups of people that are? Absolutely. Do they want to avoid those? Absolutely. So, the same thing goes for anything else. You know, you can be allergic to antibiotics. You know, you can be allergic to, you know, aspirin, ibuprofen, stuff you take for people take for a headache, stuff that's over the counter that isn't, you know, terribly regulated, that's just not, you know, designated as safe for most people to use. You can be allergic to that. It's weird, but, you know, does that change the lifestyle of every single person and, you know, displace people because there's a certain group of people that are allergic to something? No, not usually. I mean, we have unique cases where it displaces and changes the lifestyle of everybody around them, but for the most part, no. People just kind of go along with it. You know, whatever. Hey, yeah, you got an allergy, cool. It doesn't affect me in any way, shape, or form, but on the other side of the fence, I understand your allergy. Fine, I appreciate it. You know, I myself have allergies. I'm allergic to certain food types, funguses, stuff like that, mushrooms, penicillin, stuff like that. That's a big antibiotic. That antibiotic's been around forever. I'm allergic to it. I'm allergic to fungus. Does it stop the restaurant from making things with mushrooms? No. Are they excruciatingly more careful if I let them know I have an allergy? Not all the time. I've had allergic reactions in many restaurants because, you know, somebody ordered something with mushrooms and it was cooked on the same surface as my food was cooked on, and they didn't clean the surface even though they were notified of an allergy. It's happened. It's not a big deal, but, well, it is, but my point being is it's not a big deal. It's, you know, I will never go back to that restaurant again. No, I just, you know, I need to be more careful. The particular food that I order changes depending on where I go. You know, I mean, I may go back to that restaurant and order only things that are put into a deep fryer from now on. Or I may go to that restaurant and just order a salad. I don't know. You know, it's one of those things. I mean, you got to watch what you do, but people will make adjustments. But, you know, I don't think you should be punished for your allergies either. To be honest with you, I really don't. I don't think you should be segregated or separated from the rest of society because you're allergic to something. I think a lot of people have kind of probably feel the same way about that. Separating a group of people because they are physically incapable of, you know, having some item that you can have is, not right. It's not fair. I mean, nothing's fair, but you get my point. People could do better. That's the biggest thing. People in society could do better. Everybody wants to talk about now with, oh, well, people are so intolerant. Some people are intolerant. Surprisingly enough, most people that are intolerant of, something like somebody having an allergy are the same people that are screaming that people are intolerant of X, Y, and Z. You ever heard the phrase, the pot calling the kettle black? Kind of a old moniker thing where, the pot and the kettle are both the same color, but the pot's being segregative towards the kettle, even though they're the same. They're just there's a slight difference in them, but yeah. It's one of those things that it happens. Now, is it wrong? Probably. Is there much we can do about it? Probably not. People are going to be people. Can't really get over that. I will say this, though. People, in general, have a limit. You ever quit a job because your boss was Payne? And he was just, even though you did everything right, he was constantly just in your face? Yeah, that's a limit. People have a limit with everything. And eventually, people reach those limits. The job of society is to make sure that either to help people not reach those limits, or if they do reach those limits, to lessen the amount of strain reaching those limits causes. I think we've seen it over the last couple of years. People kind of reach that breaking point a couple of times. Like I said, the big trick is just got to make sure you lessen the blow. If you can't completely avoid it, make sure that it's not something that ends in tragedy. We failed in that in a lot of countries this last 2 years. But then again, what's the answer? Well, honestly, I don't have it. I'd say let people live and not mess with them. Not do crazy things that make people's lives unpleasant, even though they're just trying to go from day to day. That would be nice. It's not going to happen. But I digress. I don't think I detailed the interior on this car. Ugh. Back seat looked a little sticky. Sticky. Yeah, I didn't detail the interior on this one. Huh. Alright, now. While we're looking at it, before we paint or anything else, let's make sure all this other stuff's taken care of. I may not have washed it either. I might have done a dirty car in the shop. Ooh, not good. Dirty. That's what it had on it. This is the one we want. 428 Twister Special. Yeah, that's the one. Alright, do we want it solid, metallic? Ooh, it makes it copper color. That's interesting. Pearlescent. Ooh, that's nice. Matte finish. Yeah. Chrome. Chameleon, I don't see what color it's mixing with. Probably orange, that's why. Yeah, it looks like an orange. It's definitely orange. I think we go with pearl. I think it's the kind of car you'd see in pearl. And we now have the car labeled for what it actually is. Kind of like the GT500. Or the GT350. Hi. At least remember to put the oil in the car this time. So this car started with 335. So yeah, the engine sizes are actually different, even though they all look the same. So this one should be quite a bit more horsepower. Almost 600. Okay. Now let's say we can push it up to over 200 miles an hour. Dirty. Oop. Definitely much cleaner in here now. Now, this one has the prancing horses on it, and... Hang on. I gotta go look at that glove box, because I think that glove box is different, too. Yep, it is a Mach 1 glove box. But if you see here, even though this is a Twister Special, if you notice, unlike the Shelby, center console's a lot different. So, now at least Payne took the time to make sure the interiors were different depending on which kind of car you were looking at. That Pearl Coat looks good. I've actually seen one of these before. These things are stupid awesome. They're fast, too. Even the 4-speed, they're quick. Wow, it had more power. It could have gone over 204. Alright. We'll do a quick photo op, and then we'll ship it off to the Oblivion. Off to the abyss. So I got our old Ford tow truck out here. Actually clean this one. Oh yeah, this one was rusted to hell and back, so yeah, it makes sense. Alright. So, this is what we're looking at, kind of like we started. 1969, 1970 Mustang Mach 1s. It's been about 2 hours. It's about perfect, actually. What do you guys think? You want to do another one, or I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you guys want to see me do more than 2 cars. I really would like to see the comments on that. But you watch this later on or whatnot. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry about my rants there. Start talking to yourself too long and you start getting crazy. But nah, it's not that bad. It's just some things, need to be said, and maybe a good piece of advice from somebody you normally wouldn't listen to is something that sits in the back of your head and grows on you. Anyways, I am going to wrap it up here for now. I will be back tomorrow. I think around 11. Tentatively, I'm going to go around 11. With another stream, we'll go ahead and take care of these two. I do have to see about finding a couple more. Really hope I can find GT500, but I don't know. It might be hard to find. As far as the list, I will go down and I will see what we have, what we haven't done. Like I said, there's 19 cars in this mod. We've done a few. We haven't done all of them, but we've done a few. So, check the parking over here. We've done 4. GT500, Twister Special, we've got that. Boss 302, 69, Boss 302, 70. So, we have a few that we've done. We got 4. There's 2 more in here. That makes 6. So, we got 13 cars left to find, guys. But, anyways, if you like the video, throw a like on it. Don't throw a like on it. Watch it again. Subscriptions, comments, all that stuff's always welcome. It helps out the channel. But anyways, I'm Dragon Lucifer, and I will see you guys next time.